Are you ready to listen to a podcast?
Here comes the Playhouse Podcast, thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices.
Find, subscribe, and listen.
Hey, welcome to the Playhouse Podcast. A lot of giggles ahead, including at the 13-minute mark, Kat is refusing to attend a party because she has to pay how much?
And at 31 minutes, JJ really breaks down the real reason why his neck is broken.
Let's get the podcast started.
All right, so who was Mark Hamill in Star Wars?
Oh, my God.
Was he? What was he?
Luke Skywalker.
The Wookiee?
No, Luke Skywalker. God, you're making me so mad.
Anyway, so he was doing a little prank at Jack in the Box. Listen to it.
Back in the Playhouse Thursday. Oh, wrong audio. Oh, that's what I just cut. Hang on.
Curtain
This is it.
lifted.
Welcome to Jack in the Box. May I take your order?
Welcome to Jack in the Box.
May I take your order?
Can I get the French toast sticks?
French toast sticks. Yummy. Please pull forward.
Why are you here? Well, it's a long story. I worked here as a teenager. I finally got to work the window, and I thought instead of just saying, "Can I take your order?" in my regular voice, I should do a clown voice.
And they didn't like it?
They didn't like it at all. All these years later, they called me up and said, "You want to come back?" Second chance for sure. I'm taking it.
Well, that was a twice-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
So you're coming back tomorrow?
Nah, I'm good.
No. Once, again, he got to go.
He's a great voice actor. He does a lot of voices. You would be surprised at how many cartoons he's on.
Well, he's Chucky.
Yeah, he does that.
Yeah. But if you had to go back to your first one, your very first one was Dairy Queen, or your very first one was
my first
Hardee's?
one was Hardee's, and then I worked at the Dairy Queen, and I got fired from both of those pretty quick.
Wouldn't that be fun to do it for just a shift and raise money? Like if I signed you up for working at Hardee's for
I don't think so.
2 to 8. You wouldn't have fun with that? I feel
probably
like
not.
I would have fun, but wouldn't you think that the workers there would feel like they're being mocked?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, this is fun. This is cute.
They're like, I got to do this every day.
Yeah. That's what I feel like those workers felt like standing behind him.
When he's
Everyone was so
standing there.
excited to see
but
Mark
it's Luke
Hamill.
Skywalker, man. That's cool when he shows up at your work.
He's King Amidala, right? Wasn't that his role for all 8 movies? Anyway, so if you had to go back.
I believed in violence. I would prove it right now.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do with your brain?
I could throw this water bottle at you.
Possibly, okay. I worked at Dairy Queen. We all know that it was a 14-day stint that, I don't know, didn't really have a blast. They stuck me in the corner and had me make dilly bars, which you actually make in-house. A lot of people think that they're ordered like that.
You're
No,
Dunkin' Dillies.
I did. And then you put the packaging on, you seal it up with the heat, whatever, the heat press, and throw it into the freezer. Like that was back in my day. Maybe it's different now. But if you had to go back and work at the fast food joint that you got your start at in life, what fast food joint would it be?
Mark Hamill, who plays Luke Skywalker in all the Star Wars movies, went back to Jack in the Box, where he had a job originally as a teenager, had some fun.
Welcome to Jack in the Box. May I take your order?
Welcome to Jack in the Box. May I take your order? Can I get the French toast sticks?
French toast sticks. Yummy. Please pull forward.
Why are you here? Well, it's a long story. I worked here as a teenager. I finally got to work the window, and I thought instead of just saying, "Can I take your order?" in my regular voice, I should do a clown voice.
And they didn't like it?
They didn't like it at all. All these years later, they called me up and said, "You want to come back?" Second chance for sure. I'm taking it.
Well, that was a twice-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
So you're coming back tomorrow?
Nah, I'm good.
So that's why they fired him, because he was using a clown voice. He was having fun at work. God forbid. But then he goes back and he does just one more day. Just wanted one more shift.
So many people texting in, worked at McDonald's, a lot of Burger Kings. I worked at Hardee's and the Dairy Queen. Kat worked at the Dairy Queen.
April says A&W. I was a car hop girl. No roller skates, though. There was an A&W. Was it in Big Lake? And I remember so many good memories. Do you remember that? Right across the street from the lake.
Yeah.
And now it's a car wash. But it used to be an A&W on roller skates. And then there was one in Lake City as well. And I remember how fun that was.
So what was that job that was kind of like this? Now, Jim, I know it wasn't fast food. It was what?
I worked at Metropolitan Stadium. When I was 13 years old, I carried soda and popcorn. And I'd go back there in a minute. It was awesome.
Really? Did you have like a kitsch, like when you were yelling, where you're like, "I get your popcorn, it's a soda."
Yeah, right? Yeah. There was the old guys that sold beer out there,
Yeah.
And those were the guys that had it. You know what I'm saying? They would they had their little chant, that they would say. I was just happy to have somebody buy some of my watered down soda pop.
What a great workout too, up and down those stairs.
Pretty physically demanding.
It was awesome. But the best day I ever had there was a Yankee double series on the 4th of July. I think I made $100 back then, and that was like huge.
Yeah.
So maybe a modern day miracle that we're actually here together.
God.
What a you-know-what show over the last, 72 to week of our lives.
Like, how crazy is what happened to you, and then how I felt like my situation was worse than yours. I truly didn't. I didn't. You were the one that spun it like that on your video you did on Monday. Like, oh, I'm here. But, Kat's got a little cold and she's not here. I knew what you were doing.
Oh,
it was selfish.
It has been just such a weird week. I feel blessed to be here, so thank you for your thoughts and your concerns. I got to wear a brace for 3 months, and I'll probably be okay. Kat's on the back end of do you know what it was?
I don't even know what it was. It was just, I was miserable for like Sunday and then Monday. And then like at the end of Monday, I started feeling a little bit better. Yesterday, slept like most of the day. And then Derek had to work, so I had to get all of our equipment out to Liam's 3v3. And I kept my distance. I sat in the sun, though. It was like one of those, like, you just need sun to feel better.
Sure.
And we were out there. They won their 3v3. That was pretty cool. A lot of really awesome teams played. And then last night went to bed early. And now we're here. Cut 2. We're back.
It's weird. We're going to have a fun show today, guys. Thanks for letting us take yesterday off and just kind of heal a little bit.
So I would say if you develop a disease, if you're born with a disease, you kind of just either try to find a way to beat it or live with it comfortably. I would say Lyme's disease is pretty terrible, knowing that a little tick could completely change the way you live every day.
If it doesn't get treated right away, it can be a real mess.
But there's this woman named Danielle Page. She was a guest on the Balanced Blonde Soul on Fire. And she was talking about how Lyme's disease is actually like a gift.
Lyme is a gift. Yes. It is not for the faint of heart. No. And it is for the most deeply spiritual people on the planet. Yes.
Wait.
No, these are the most unlucky people. I think if you get a disease, it's just a crap card you're dealt. You just kind of have to deal with it. But to call it a gift, I know maybe you're trying to do the glass half full thing for people, but it's okay to say that some days suck big time. That's all right.
Listen to her again one more time. Just get the vibe off her voice.
Lyme is a gift. Yes. It is not for the faint of heart. No. And it is for the most deeply spiritual people on the planet.
Oh, so if you're super spiritual,
then you
that
get it.
Tick will hopefully bite you and leave you with a bullseye.
You know who had it was Bella Hadid.
Oh, my daughter Reagan had it.
Reagan had Lyme's disease?
Yeah,
no, she didn't.
Yeah, she did. She got.
You never told me that.
We got treated right away, so she's fine. The thing is with this, if it doesn't get treated, it can become a real big problem. She had it, and she went to the doctor, and they treated it right away, and she's fine.
I mean, that's amazing. I had no idea. But
living around here, I mean, if you spend any time in the woods, or it's a very plausible thing. I mean, that's why if you have kids, you want to, as soon as they come in, you head to toe them real quick, make sure that they don't have any ticks on them.
But what disease are you living with? I was living with UC, ulcerative colitis, until I had Liam. And then like 2 weeks after I had Liam, 2 or 4, then my colon completely collapsed. Then I had to go in and get it taken out. So I don't even have a colon anymore. So I don't have UC.
So living with what you have right now, is that more bearable than when you had UC?
Oh, man. I don't know. Like UC would be bouts of like a snake bite in your intestines is kind of what it felt like. But it would be like for maybe 7 days, and then for months I'd go without it. So I'd probably say I'd want UC again. But UC could develop into Crohn's, which is horrible.
I have a friend that has Crohn's disease, and it's tough.
I mean, Crohn's is very hard to like take care of. Most of the time you can't get the surgeries that I had with the crap egg and stuff like that. If you have Crohn's, it's just kind of like you have to live with it, which would be terrible.
So you have an ailment or a disease that you're living with right now. What's your day-to-day look like? Imagine having Lyme disease And then listening to these idiots on this podcast.
Lime is a gift. Yes, yes. It is not for the faint of heart. No. And it is for the most deeply spiritual people on the planet.
So it's a gift if you're really spiritual that you get Lyme disease.
Yeah, I feel like the word gift is loosely used there. I feel like any disease that somebody gets is not the card that you would ideally pull from the deck.
No, I get it. If you're really spiritual, you're saying this is part of God's plan. I'm learning adversity, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. But when that disease or that ailment really kicks in and you're at a low point, you're not thinking that way. You're like, I just need to get to tomorrow, right?
Exactly.
And so you had UC, that's ulcerative colitis.
Yep.
And how do you think it developed? Is it just
I have no idea.
Is it a roll of the dice and some people get it? Was it your diet? Was it genetics?
I think, and I like to blame my mom for things, so I think it was her. The worrywart side of her, because you can develop ulcers like that. And I used to worry about everything. I think it was until about, I don't know, 9 years ago when I really started that journey of don't sweat the small stuff. Yeah. Try not to. And it's a daily thing where I have to remind myself, don't worry about that. That's no big deal.
And Tessa, your husband has UC. What's going on with this?
He basically has to limit everything that he eats. Like, he can't eat any hard shell foods like beans, and corn and everything like that. And then he has to take a Humira shot every week, as well as pills. No alcohol, because that gives him not a good time in the bathroom.
Sure.
Yeah. So how much does all that medication cost you?
Shots is $3,000 from what I heard.
That
and
is
he has to take,
crazy.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it's just wild.
And is that genetic then?
That.
Is that genetic? Did he, did anyone else in his family have it?
His uncle, might have it, but I don't think anything was ever, hardcore diagnosed, and we really didn't know anything until he went into the hospital and he had to have some drains put in the lower regions, and luckily he hasn't have it any major surgery to remove any intestines or anything like that.
So it's a shot and watching your diet and staying off booze, and after that it's pretty manageable?
It is, yeah. I know some people can get rid of all the side effects just depending on what you eat, even more so and going on a really strict diet, but I don't think that's really in the cards.
So weird.
Weird stuff.
Everybody called me weird. I am weird.
You don't think this is a little weird? No, I don't think it's weird at all.
Weird news.
This is it's weird and it's creepy. I can't imagine what these people were thinking when they saw this. These city workers near Tampa, they were surprised. They opened this manhole cover and there was this guy looking back at them and they said, "Hey, how you doing?" And he said, "Good, I'm thirsty. Can I have a Mountain Dew?"
He's a civilian. And supposedly he likes going into the manholes. And Public Works made contact with him. They opened the manhole and looked at him and said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I just need something to drink. I'm tired."
They never found the man after sending in all the toys, a drone, cameras, not to mention the massive response, including dozens of firefighters, paramedics, and police. People in the area say he's known to frequent the drainage system. We are told police are working to pay him a visit and remind him that's not a good idea.
How scary. I guarantee that he's not a human.
Bet it was a turtle.
Who hangs out down there with turtles' turds, waste? How disgusting.
Yeah, you think it's better on the top side, wouldn't you?
But, great endorsement for Mountain Dew when somebody lives down in a sewer and that's all they're craving. I think that's funny. And that is what's weird.
Who would invite you to their party?
This is my second year being invited to this hibachi party by a friend of mine named Kellogg. And they call him Kellogg because he was in a Kellogg commercial in 1980.
Or
Kellogg cereal.
Honeygrams or something like that?
It was whatever.
Frosted Flakes?
Yeah.
Really? He was in the Frosted Flakes commercial?
Yeah, he's a blonde little kid. If you YouTube it, he shows everybody, by the way.
I bet.
So,
just saved on his phone.
He has this hibachi party. This is his second annual.
How does this go down? Does he have somebody come in and actually cook for you guys?
He has hired a hibachi chef who evidently, you can outsource them, which why not? If you want to make some side
does
money.
Does that person bring his own hibachi then?
No, he has 2 Blackstones. He has one, and then his neighbor is bringing his. So this guy's going to do all the chopping of the veggies and the choo-choo.
What do you have to bring?
With vodka. You have to, okay, so get this. He just posted, new post the other day. And I'm like, I got to talk about this. Hey, everyone, need a head count for the 20th. I want to get an idea of how much meat and seafood I have to buy. Venmo me your cash ASAP. We have to not only bring our drinks to this party, but we also have to pay $50 per person for this party.
That includes the chef, right?
Okay, then don't throw a party.
Oh, that's okay. I think that's fine. Don't go then.
Don't throw a party.
So for you and your husband, $100, this is a fun night.
This drives me crazy.
Oh,
this is like
no. That's
we
a good
talked
night.
about another friend of mine. What was it around New Year's Eve, where we had to bring everything. It's like, I know you have a huge hosting.
Well, if you don't want to go to
but
this, tell Kellogg, Trish, and I'll go. I'll pay $100 for us to go to somebody's house and have a private hibachi chef. I would do that. If that's $50, that's a great deal, I think.
At a normal hibachi, you'd pay $25.
So
$50 per couple. That sounds like a fun night. But what are you doing? Are you you're just organizing for another grill to be brought to your house, and then you call this guy to do the cooking? Last year,
you got to go get all the meat.
Yeah, but last year you didn't charge anything.
I probably took it in the pants.
So you hike it up to $50?
Yeah, you got to make up for last year. You're not going now?
Told Derek. I'm just like, that's a lot of money.
Oh,
it's not like I can't afford it,
You're
but
the
like
cheapest, most. That's beyond frugal. That's just cheap. This is a good time waiting. And your
plus
husband's
his house has a lot of spiders. He lives by the river, and there's like spiders everywhere. And you know, Derek, he will just. Does it hurt to laugh? I was worried about that driving in. I was like thinking about how hilarious I am and how that will hurt you.
Oh, it does. It hurts my broken chest.
A lot of people don't know JJ broke his neck and broke his sternum, and so he's in this cast. And it
doesn't hurt my neck. It hurts my sternum.
I'll try not to be funny, but I can't make any promises. But
I won't go to his house because he has a lot.
Do you feel there are too many spiders? It's awful, and so I don't know. We're just kind of weighing it. We have nothing going on the 20th, but I really don't want to pay $50 per head. What is he even giving me that I can't get for way cheaper at a hibachi restaurant?
Chef.
I could go to a hibachi restaurant. What are you not getting?
Experience. JJ, she's cheap.
AKA Cat, AKA lover of money, and I don't know. I just don't know if I could bring myself
First
to
off,
go to
you
this
should
hibachi
count
party.
your heavenly blessings every day that there are people willing to tolerate your presence for more than 4 or 5 minutes.
That's nice. That's a nice
and then
thing
you get
to
invited
say.
to a party and you go, no, I'm going to make up an excuse on the radio in front of hundreds of thousands of people because I don't want to pay.
I don't care if he's
this person
listening.
organized to have a private hibachi chef come in, got a couple of Blackstones fired up. All you need to do is drop $50 and you'll have
bring your own drink.
You'll have a full belly, a whole bunch of laughs, a good time with a bunch of people, and you're like, no, it's too expensive.
Maybe it's the master hostess in myself that finds it completely tacky to have people bring a ton of stuff.
How many people
to
are
a
getting
party.
invited to this, by the way?
There are 30 people.
So 30 people.
And 17 have already said yes.
So 17 times 50 is going to be $850.
Here, put my computer up. I found the commercial.
This is
in.
they call this guy Kellogg. This is the commercial he's in.
I'll show you. He is right. Here he comes. Not her.
Been making great days for more people for more years.
That's that little Bond kid?
Yeah.
Having the, what are they, Honey Smacks?
Raisin Bran and Honey Smacks.
All right, so this guy is now throwing a private hibachi party.
Yeah.
It's $50 a head, and Kat says that's way too much. Tina, would you go if it was $50 a head?
Absolutely not.
What is
That
wrong
is
with
absolutely ridiculous.
You guys are so cheap.
Look at how much money that guy is making.
So what? It's a fun time.
Just for, oh my gosh. But still, that's great. You could do it for half. You know, I agree with what she said. You know, $50 a person, maybe $50 for a couple. But, like, really, are you going to eat that much food?
Yeah.
That you're going to eat
looking at it the
you know
wrong
what
way.
I mean?
You're looking at it the wrong way. Listen,
no, but you could go somewhere else and have such a good time without spending $50.
That's what I
said. You're going to be there for a couple hours?
Yeah.
You're looking at it
You know what
the
I
wrong
mean?
way.
Like, $100, I would, that would be a family of 4. That's how I see it. Like, my family of 4, $100.
Yep.
Not 2 people. That's how I feel, though.
I know.
You guys splurge every once in a while. This is a good time waiting. You'll remember this probably for years and years. It's the experience.
Yeah, and what if it sucks?
Well, then Light them
you
up.
remember that it sucked and you wasted all that money for nothing.
Derek texted on top of the spiders, don't forget about the mosquitoes. We've been over there for plenty of bonfires, and we leave, and the next morning we are just covered in mosquito bites. So therefore, I know if I go to a hibachi restaurant,
there's
I will
no way
not
of getting
leave
around that,
with
stopping for some mosquito
There you
spray on the way.
Okay.
You guys are looking at this the wrong. Yeah, I'm far from wealthy, and I would do this on a heartbeat.
Fine, you go.
I will. I'll take you up
have
on
a
this.
good time. Fine.
Good.
I will tag you in this post. You go to Kellogg's
Good.
hibachi
And you know what
party.
I'm gonna do? I'm gonna document the whole thing on social media just so you're just.
I would love that.
Yeah, I would.
Mosquitoes
absolutely.
landing right on your eyelid.
Anyways, thanks, Tina, for being
right.
cheap like Kat.
You're welcome.
Have a good morning.
Radio Paparazzi.
She announced over a year ago that she was going to do the non-binary thing with the they, them pronouns, and she really pushed it on people, and now she's saying she wants to go back to the she and her.
I've actually adopted the pronouns of she, her again. I'm such a fluid person that I felt like, especially last year, my energy was balanced and my masculine and feminine energy. So that when I was faced with the choice of walking into a bathroom and it said women and men, I didn't feel like there was a bathroom for me. Recently, I've been feeling more feminine, and so I've adopted she, her again. But I think what's important is like nobody's perfect. Everyone messes up pronouns at some point, and especially when people are learning, it's just all about respect.
I agree with you. I will never do something to make you feel uncomfortable. But if I mess up a they, them, it's because it doesn't naturally, in the English language, sound normal. But I want everyone to feel comfortable. The fact is, it's her life. She's living her best life. All right, so Naomi Judd sadly took her life. And she has her daughters, Ashley and Winona, and a lot of people wondering who she's leaving her fortune to. She has a $25 million estate. Looks like neither of the girls are getting it.
When you cut your two daughters out of a $25 million estate, there are bound to be questions as to coercion. Did she really know what she was doing? That could be examined in a court case.
So her husband of 33 years was named the executor of the will.
Makes perfect sense, though.
Yeah.
He's been with her for 33 years. I think he'll do the right thing with the money.
He'll, put things in trusts and do other legal arrangements.
Plus, these other two women are pretty well off. I don't think they need her $25 million.
That's what I was going to say.
Is this really worth getting messy?
Yeah. And I just, that is like one of the most disgusting things is when somebody passes and people only think about money. It's very, very gross. JoJo Siwa's mom somehow decided to insert herself into this unnecessary drama with Candace Cameron Bure. If you don't know what's going on, so JoJo thought it would be really cute to quickly flash the camera with a photo of a celebrity that was rude to her at one time. And one of them was Candace Cameron Bure. And here's how her mom tells the story.
And JoJo ran into DJ. She's like, oh my God, I love you so much. Can we please take a selfie? She's like, not now, maybe later.
Okay.
Word for word. Not now, maybe later.
So this is where mom, you say, sounds like she was busy, honey. Or you can't always get what you want, honey.
Or you don't take a picture with probably everybody that asks.
I know. Nick Jonas, I love this because it's a perfect example of what my day-to-day is like with my 10-year-old who thinks he discovers new music on TikTok when in all actuality it's Gangsta's Paradise and it's been around for decades and decades. But Nick Jonas on with Kelly Clarkson talking about how it's different now with new generations discovering them.
We've really seen that distinction of, beyond the kind of OG fans who've been there forever, to a lot of the older people who have come to our shows, perhaps watch The Voice or other things, and then younger people who were introduced to us in the last couple of years and think we're a new band. It's like,
oh my God,
it's like, oh yeah,
people think you're a new band.
Yeah. The other day he was like, do you know who the Spice Girls are? I said, see your way out of here. I was a Spice Girl. I was Posh Spice for Halloween when I was 9 years old. Do I know who
If you would have been a Spice Girl, what would have been your nickname?
Oh my God, Scary was taken.
Gassy?
Gassy Spice?
Gassy
yes. All right, I'll get to my friend's experience in just a couple of minutes. It just matches up and happens to be like just around the same time that this happened. This Florida police officer a little embarrassed after attempting to serve an eviction notice to the wrong house.
Hello?
What are you doing?
We're here to finalize the eviction.
They told me that they were serving an eviction, which is news to me because I don't rent. I didn't know if these people are trying to get into my house. I didn't know if everything was okay.
We have the wrong house.
I just think that if I didn't catch it, would all of my stuff been out in the driveway?
Boy.
You really don't know what your neighbors are going through if they're to the point where they are going to get evicted. I was talking to my grandma and grandpa, and they said that the townhouse next to them, they barely knew the woman because she moved in right before COVID. And, they isolated for a year and a half.
Right.
And so they really never got to know her or anything like that. And then cops were there the other day, and her house was foreclosed on, and she was kind of like almost squatting, like refusing to leave.
She wouldn't leave.
Yeah, she wasn't like destroying the place or anything like that. She didn't have a place to move to. So I guess you just got to look out for yourself. But my friend just sat on a house for almost 3 days because her girlfriend has been renting out this house an hour away. And the guy is clearly selling drugs out of this house. And so she asked my friend if she would, because she used to be a lawyer, if she could go there and serve papers and get this person out of there. And finally, he comes out of the house. He didn't leave the house
3 days?
For almost 3 days. And so she was waiting, and she slept in her car. It was like those cop shows where the coffee cups are up on the dashboard. And she sent me like little snaps or whatever, like he hasn't left yet. He is, the lights are still on and going off and on. So I know he's inside. And then he finally walked outside, and she walked up and she served him. So at least he knows, and it's documented. She got it on video, that he knows he's got to be out of the house in I think he has 14 days.
This is what would be tough to be a landlord. I wouldn't want to be a property manager and knowing that you got to kick someone out. I get it. They got to pay the rent. That's the agreement you kind of bind with them. But
I think there are certain situations, circumstances. That's the one where I would have a really hard time with. But this guy, single, living there, selling drugs, making a mint, and then he totally took advantage of the COVID landlord rule that was going around, where it's like you don't have to collect for this amount of time, even though he was making the money. He definitely had to go. And so they haven't gone inside yet. They will in 2 weeks. I really hope that he doesn't destroy the place. And of course he's all over the carpet.
Of course he's gonna. That's what people do.
Smashes in the walls. That'd be
I want to tell you
horrible.
the story. My junior year, my roommate and I, we almost got evicted. I want to tell you about that and how that we almost ended up on the street that night. I'll tell you that story, but I want to get yours too. Imagine you're just minding your own damn business, and the cop starts knocking on your door. They're ready to evict you. Maybe not you.
Hello? What are you doing?
We're here to finalize the eviction.
They told me that they were serving an eviction, which is news to me because I don't rent. I didn't know if these people are trying to get into my house. I didn't know if everything was okay.
We have the wrong house.
I just think that if I didn't catch it, would all of my stuff been out in the driveway?
Now, this almost happened to me. So my junior year of college, my roommate and I, we were renting this apartment building. And I don't know why, but there was a large population of Russian immigrants that were in our building. And at any given time, you could smell some cuisines that were crazy, awesome Russian-y smelling.
Yeah. Okay. So it smelled good.
It smelled good.
Got it.
But this is what happened. And I remember it, honestly, like it was yesterday, because it was a Thursday night, and we both had schedules where we didn't have class Friday morning. Mm-hmm. So we're up playing Tiger Woods golf or something on the PlayStation and having a few beers, and the pounding starts on our door, and it's just a pounding. And I'm like, what is going on?
A Russian pound and an American pound are two totally different things.
No. This was the property manager with two police officers.
Ooh.
And I'm like, I go, did you do something? What'd you do? He's like, I don't know what's going on. Why are the cops here? So I open it up, and the guy barges in. He goes, get out, take all your crap, get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, were we being that loud? We were just joking around, having fun. It's two guys drinking beer at, 11:30 on a Thursday night. And he goes, we saw the cat. And I go, we don't have a cat. We don't have a pet. What had happened is these Russian immigrants that live next door to us, their cat, it died, I guess, or I don't know, some accident or something. They threw the cat in the garbage. In the big,
God.
Where you throw your garbage, those big bins, right? They got the flip tops or whatever.
Yeah.
So somebody saw somebody throw a cat in the garbage.
Mm-hmm.
They traced them back to our hallway, and assumed it was us. And they were ready to evict us for some kind of killing cat plot.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is going on here, right? So they find it. We were like, we don't have a cat. They go next door. These people readily admit it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cat died. We threw it in the garbage. I'm like, you can't just do that.
How do you dispose of a cat?
I don't know.
I know you don't throw it into the garbage, but like, do you bury it?
I think I don't know what's the humane thing to do. But literally, we almost got thrown out on the street that night because somebody thought we threw away a cat.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is buck wild. So I don't know what the terms are and stuff like that. My big question is, you've got a friend who serves papers like this. Is that dangerous?
I feel like it could have been very dangerous because she had protection. She has a conceal and carry license. But I'm like, you should have brought your husband because you can't serve a man who deals drugs papers by
they're
yourself.
Armed, right? If
Yeah.
they're dealing drugs.
And I mean, it's in a populated neighborhood. In case something did happen, she hopefully could have had backup. But I'm like, just to sit out there for almost a few days, getting ready to like hop on this guy when he gets out of the
and does
house.
it pay that much that you can just sit there for 3 days and not have any
did
other
it for
jobs?
free.
Oh, wait.
She did this for her friend for free. So I think she loves the rush is what she loves.
And I would be afraid I was going to get shot right in the face.
She used to do this all the time. And she said she only had just a couple of people out of the dozens and dozens that she had to serve eviction papers to that things went south.
It sounds messy.
Yeah, Tracy had texted, we were evicted when I was into drugs. We didn't pay for 4 months. We were in a bad spot, completely our fault. 2 years ago, after being sober for 4 years, we sent flowers to our old landlord and $100 for a nice dinner out.
That's a nice way to smooth things over.
Listen, when you're on drugs, you're not yourself. You don't make good choices. And to get sober like that and then realize that you had put someone through something like that, it's a big move.
It's a good karma moment. To give you a chance here. Go ahead. Ask all the questions you want about Broken Neck Guy.
Okay. Do you want to say how it happened?
Yeah, I jumped in a pool like an idiot. I saw a whole bunch we're at my sister and brother-in-law's, and we're doing like yard games.
Yeah.
And I wish I could even say that I was drunk and I did it, but I was in like 2 beers over the course of like an hour. And we were wrapping up the yard games, and I saw a bunch of the guys just jump over in the pool, but they were jumping feet first. I didn't recognize that it was I've been in this pool a bunch.
Yeah.
And I didn't recognize that it was the short end. So I just dove in. And my hands hit, then my top of my head hit.
Ugh.
And then that snapped my sternum and then cracked a vertebrae.
It's like crazy.
C6, so it's down a ways.
Yeah. What else?
Well, you're like, this morning, you're like, you got to wear that thing all the time. Yeah, like I got to wear this collar 24 hours a day.
Stinky. 7
days. Well, they got little these pads interchange.
And then you can wash them.
So like what they suggest you do is you shower. And then I have to lay flat on the bed. And then my wife takes the collar off.
Yeah.
Puts the new pads on, puts the collar back on without moving my neck.
What about wiping?
I don't have a problem with that.
Happening?
No, the first day was a little bit different, a little bit difficult. But right now, like mobility stuff, I'm fine. The only thing that's not good is you don't realize that you lead with your head when you try and bend over.
Yeah.
So I got to learn to kind of squat a little bit and lead with my belly button and not my chest. That's the only hard part right now.
I'm sure questions will come about. I will just ask them when they do. But
I'm starting at this point now to tell people I'm making a game out of it. As everybody asks me, what did you do?
Yeah.
I'm like, I saved a bus full of babies.
Yeah.
And,
what a hero.
There was a guy that was trying to beat up a priest, and I beat him off.
Yeah. You know how lucky you are?
Yeah. I know. People keep telling me that, too. And I do. I genuinely do understand. And the doctors and nurses, everybody was like, oh, my gosh, usually when we see somebody with this kind of injury, it has to do with their spinal cord, too. And so you're really, really lucky. And I get all that. And the one doctor told me, if I wouldn't have put so much time in at the gym over the years, that it probably would have been a lot worse.
So I'm screwed.
And he's like, he goes, you got such a thick neck. That probably helped. And I go, that's the first time somebody has ever told me, like, hey, it's a good thing that you did shrugs for most of your life. But
people call me heartless that I'm giggling in that video. But the only reason why I'm giggling is that you're alive and you're going to be fine. And I just thought, hot off our conversation of my back corrector, posture corrector.
Here I am with
think it's not funny, and I wouldn't use the word karma. It's just like, well,
I could be a princess now because I could easily walk with a plate on my head.
You could.
I'm so light on my feet.
I just signed you up for some cotillion classes.
Everything is weird. Like it's, here's the hardest part. is for 3 months I can't really like work out with weights.
Yeah.
That's going to drive me crazy. Like I can still ride the bike, so I'm okay with that. As long as I'm not doing stuff with my neck and moving it around and stuff, they're like 3 months, you'll be fused right back up and I don't have to have a surgery on my neck or my chest.
That's good.
And you don't realize how many chest muscles you use daily until you crack your breastbone.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wow, that really sucks.
It's so true. It could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
So you are like a poster child for being careful at the pool, for sure.
And here's the weird part. Like, I have been around swimming pools my entire life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I just, man, it was like 1/2 second where I was like just being an idiot. I just didn't think. And, yeah, it could have been louder. So that's it. That's all the questions?
For now. I will make a list.
All right. If you got a question, you're probably listening going, oh my God, you really broke your neck. Yes.
Yes, he did. He had to start his text to me on Saturday with, I'm sorry, but this is not a joke. And then he went on to explain it. I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe it. So I'm just glad you're okay. You're going to be okay. I'll be okay, if you're wondering.
Skylar said his brother had the same thing happen, but C7.
Oof.
Yeah, it's in a weird spot, too, because the pain radiates to my shoulders. My neck doesn't hurt.
So are you on pain meds?
Yeah, this morning I took, before my wife drove me in, I took Oxycontin.
Okay.
But usually I just take one in the morning because it's, when you try and sleep, my muscles go into like a weird atrophy thing right now because they're still trying to save the trauma spot.
Yeah.
Everything is so tight. And so if I take one, then I can relax and it'll loosen me up a little bit. But otherwise, Tylenol has been okay. And I don't think I took any pain meds in the hospital.
Wow.
And they were like, you don't want anything? And I'm like, because they had me immobilized. You're in this collar and you're just laying there. I'm like, well, nothing hurts.
Yeah.
The only thing that was bad is like, I don't know, like they didn't do a catheter. So I had to pee in a jug all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I've never had to do that before.
Have you ever had a catheter, though?
No.
Yeah.
They said there's such a thing as a condom catheter, they said, where basically it's like a condom, but you just can pee in it and it goes in a bag.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, can I pee in a jar or something instead?
What if they had you wear a diaper? Would you have done that?
Yeah, I would have done that.
You would have had to.
That wouldn't have been that bad.
It's not bad. I had a diaper for months and months and months.
And who made fun of you?
You.
Not me. Not ever once. Want a new job?
We're candyologists at Candy Funhouse, and we're looking for a chief candy officer. The chief candy officer will be the first and only of its kind. They will need to be age 5+, living in North America, and they will make $100,000 per year. Here, they'll taste test over 3,000 products per month to award Spotlight Treats the CCO stamp of approval.
So $100,000, but in U.S., that's 78,000 U.S. currency. So it's starting in Canada. You got to go to Canada to try. But I love you have to be 5 years old plus to try some of this candy. Obviously, this is not going to be a lifelong salaried position. Probably just a one-time thing. Then they'll move on to another. But if you were given this job and they were like, you can only taste test this candy, and be like, no, keep your money. I cannot.
Anything, Junior Mints I would rule at. I just want to eat Junior Mints. They're so refreshing.
Yuck.
But I know you want to go the route of like, what couldn't you taste test?
Yeah.
Anything with coconut. What is it, Mars bars?
I hate coconut as well.
Mars bars, and then what's the one with the nuts and that doesn't, Almond Joy? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Almond Joy has nuts. Mars does. Or what? I can't do the coconut stuff.
I can't do the coconut that sits on your tongue. Like I could do coconut crusted shrimp, like deep fried coconut shrimp or chicken.
Yeah, way different.
I could do that. And then I can do a pina colada every once in a while, but I am not a coconut lover. So I'd go on that route, but I hate the Tootsie Roll Pops. I hate that taste.
Oh, you're killing me.
No, I don't like it at all. It's not something that
is that the one with the when you unwrap it, you're looking for the Native American dude shooting the star?
Yeah, but
right?
But no gas station will honor that.
I think that started as a myth one time.
Who started that? Because every kid lost their mind.
Someone's grandpa went, watch, I'm going to tell this kid that if he finds a Native American dude shooting a star on the wrapper, you could take it to the Five and Dime or the Ben Franklin or whatever and get it. They thought it was a joke for so long, and so many kids did it.
Did any gas station ever honor that?
I never got one free.
I never got one free. What a loser, whoever started that.
I think it's pretty funny. A lot of kids walking around with those wrappers in their pocket.
I know.
Trying to get free suckers out of the deal.
What candy is so disgusting that you would turn down this chief candy officer position? $78,000 is a good chunk of change. But if they sat you at a table and there was this candy, what is the candy that you can't handle?
If we paid you $100,000, and of course you had to move to Canada, but you would be the new Chief Candy Officer. Chief Candy Officer. Easy for me to say. You get $100,000, but we decided there's probably one candy that if we put in front of you, you would not be able to take this job. Yours would be?
I would be the Tootsie Pop. Never been a fan. I just don't like the flavor. I like sour suckers. That's me.
I'm going to have an unpopular opinion with my second here, but it's going to be Skittles.
Really?
Yeah. Just don't know if I'd be able to do
sour Skittles
again.
Taste that rainbow. I'm good at that.
Yeah, I don't know. Cassidy, what candy would be like you're out of it? You couldn't take the job.
If they put like a mound or like a big, mound of Good and Plenty in front of me, I can't do it.
Good and Plenty. How do those things stick around so long? Those are nasty, man.
My dad is keeping them in business.
Yeah, my grandparents were keeping them in business.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
That's what we should have fed the terrorists that we caught. You know what I mean? Like when we were holding them, and interrogating them, give them a bunch of Good and Plenty and they'll talk, man. They'll be
At
like,
any given time,
else.
if you walk up to my dad and he has his Knights of Columbus members only jacket, he'll open it and then he's got that secret pocket inside. You'll find some Good and Plenties, even if they're just floating
He's not
around.
a Werther's original guy yet. He's just a Good and Plenty guy, huh?
Any pocket is a surprise, I think.
That's nasty. I think you win. Cassidy, have a great morning.
All right, you too.
Appreciate
Bye-bye.
being on our show. Many moons ago, we stumbled across the interesting phenomenon of Kat being able to tell you what you do for a living just by hearing your first name. So when people say what their name is, something just pops into your head and you go with that? That's just that
sometimes
easy?
it's like symbols. Sometimes it is literally the word of the profession that they do. Your face that first time we did it. Classic. I mean, you were stunned.
If you want to give this a shot, holler at us. Remember, our commitment to you is if you can't get it right, then we'll hook you up with some Playhouse swag as the prize closet is full. And to get us started, we just need your first name.
Callie.
Callie. Spell that just to make sure we're on the right page.
Kallie.
And there is no way that Kat would know you or what you do for a living. You're not acquaintances. You don't go to, PTA meetings or anything together.
Nope.
Right,
Good, because I don't go to PTA meetings either.
What are you feeling from Callie here?
Callie with the double L, and these are always easy. Callie, you are in the line of therapy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow. All right. And where do you do therapy?
I work for Becker School District.
Right on. How long have you been doing that?
2 years.
Yeah, pretty fulfilling?
Yes.
Do you get summers off then since you work for the school district, or are you just lounging?
Well, I'm contracted in, so I don't get summers off, and therapy never ends, so I work at the school. I'm actually here right now.
We got time for at least one more. What's your first name?
Vanessa.
And Vanessa, again, just for clarity's sake, there is no way that Kat would know what you do for a living.
Correct.
All right. Kat, what are you feeling from Miss Vanessa here?
Vanessa, normal spelling, I assume, Vanessa.
Correct.
Like I said with Callie, the double letters are a dead giveaway. Vanessa, you work with nonprofits.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. So, in what capacity?
I'm a healthcare nonprofit director, so I raise funds to support healthcare.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah, I felt that warm and fuzzy, and when I feel that, I know it's something that's like selfless.
How do you get into something like this? Is this what you went to school for, or did you just find a passion?
I just kind of, I think one job led to another, and then I kind of fell into it a little bit, and volunteering and helping has been a passion of mine.
Yeah, it's got to feel good every day to know that you're helping out people you probably never meet, huh?
Correct, yeah.
The Playhouse Podcast is made possible thanks to Bradshaw and Bryan Law Offices. Catch the live show weekdays from 5:30 to 9 on 104.7 KCLD. Now, share this with a friend.